Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest goalscorer in international football, might be Productive's problem.
Two sides then to this Cristiano Ronaldo argument. Of course, we heard yesterday Stevie and Ali explaining the fact that, yes, he got the goal, but how much reliability is he during that 90 minutes that kind of outweighs the goal that he's going to get?
It's the debate that continues to surround Ronaldo and Portugal. Is Cristiano Ronaldo holding this Portuguese team back? Are they better off without him? And can he be the main man for Portugal at the 2026 World Cup? Recently, he's made history with Portugal again.
The first team to win this competition twice. Portugal are the Nations League winners for 2025.
Captain of the Portuguese team that won the Nations League a few days back against Spain, he didn't just captain the team, he had a leader's contribution, a goal in the final. This one came at a crucial time, forced the game to extra time, and then the shootout. Beyond that, his goal was the reason Portugal even got to the final in the first place. The winner against Germany. That's back-to-back goals in the semi-finals and final of the competition. Ronaldo was clutch for Portugal, as he always has been for large parts of his career. But that's scratching the surface. Beyond that, there's a whole load of questions about Ronaldo that's too obvious to ignore. The Nations League final against Spain is the prime example. Yes, Ronaldo scored, and on top of that he had moments where he was involved in closing down and even winning the ball of Lamine Yamal. But that was brief, because the truth is, aside from the goal, his passing looked off. There were moments in the game when he gave the ball away, was dispossessed, and Spain had the opportunity to break at pace. He had 3 turnovers that led to shots in that final, and any of them could have eventually become goals. With this, it's not even about the stats, it's about watching a man who, on one hand, will give anything for his national team, but on the other hand, doesn't quite look like he's the right fit for this team at 40. It's crazy to think about this. 40 years old and still scoring in big games. But again, it's the same paradox. Against Germany in the semi-finals, Ronaldo scored the winner. He had 7 shots on target, but at the same time, he struggled to link up with his teammates. He was dispossessed 3 times. He gave the ball away cheaply on occasion, and it became easy for Germany to play around him. Why? Because Ronaldo wasn't going to press with intensity. But is this then enough to say Ronaldo is holding Portugal back? To get a proper sense of this, we need to understand what Ronaldo's job is with the national team. He's the greatest goalscorer in men's international football history. He's Portugal's leading all-time top scorer. Different pictures can be painted about Ronaldo, but the ideal reality is he is in that Portuguese team to score goals. So from this angle, does he do his job? Yes, he does. But at the same time, it gets confusing. It becomes a problem when Ronaldo isn't scoring goals. The truth is, he's got 2 in the semi-finals and finals of the Nations League, and everything is great. The hype around him now is that he led Portugal to a 3rd major international trophy, and rightly so. But it's easy to forget that last summer, it was a different idea of Ronaldo.
The thing that I took from the game really was watching Ronaldo, and I don't think anybody can argue, he's been way below what he was at his best.
This was off the back of the 2024 Euros, the same tournament where Ronaldo failed to score for Portugal for the first time in a major tournament in, well, ever. He had 19 shots at the Euros and failed to score. That's the most shots without scoring by any player in the competition's history. The reason we're bringing this up is to show what could be a major problem with Ronaldo in the Portuguese national team. He's a striker, and as is the case with strikers when they aren't scoring goals, the criticism comes. Pressing, holding up the play, making runs for other teammates to attack the space. Those are subplots that come with the position. Added factors. The main job of a striker is to score goals. It's that simple. That's what Ronaldo tries to do. And the only reason we get to talk about his flaws in depth is when he isn't scoring goals, which was the case at the Euros. And even the competition before that. The 2022 World Cup gave the World Cup can best be described as the tournament that began the debate surrounding Ronaldo and whether he is indeed holding back the national team. Speaking of holding back, at Futbol Historia we're letting it all out by bringing you more quality videos like this. And in turn, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button below. A win-win. Fernando Santos isn't happy with Ronaldo's gestures after he subbed him off in the final group stage game versus South Korea. Then the headline decision.
Essa conversar aconteceu, naturalmente. Mal seria que não tivesse acontecido. Mal seria quando do treinador. E como sabem, eu já disse isso aqui algumas vezes nas conferências.
Ronaldo is benched for the round of clash versus Switzerland. To be fair to him, Fernando Santos explains that he'd already informed Ronaldo about his decision, and what happened next was Portugal going to have their best game of the tournament, a 6-1 win. The man who replaced Ronaldo in the starting lineup, Gonçalo Ramos, got a hat-trick. But it was more than that. Portugal played well. They played as a unit. Ramos scored 3, but at the same time, Rafael Leao was on the score sheet. João Felix got 2 assists. Bruno Fernandes got an assist, and Rafael Guerreiro was on the score sheet. The idea here is Portugal looked much better with a more mobile threat up top. And that game right there was the birth of the Ronaldo paradox with Portugal. How much was the team willing to risk with Ronaldo in the team against when he wasn't in the team? Fernando Santos repeated the same trick and didn't start Ronaldo in the quarterfinals against Morocco. Only this time, it didn't work. Ronaldo came on early in the second half as a desperate effort from Fernando Santos to change the game, but it didn't work. Portugal lost 1-0, and after that, the other end of the paradox. See guys, this is where it gets confusing. On one hand, Fernando Santos left Ronaldo out of the team and they bagged 6 in a World Cup knockout game. On the other hand, he left him out of the team in the quarterfinals, and the big question around him was how the heck he would be willing to take such a risk by dropping a big game player in a big game. The Euros made it worse. No goals, 1 assist, that many shots, and to top it off, a missed penalty. Ronaldo in tears. Portugal eventually got knocked out in the quarterfinals by France, but in the Nations League, Ronaldo has somehow redeemed himself. 8 goals and 1 assist in 9 games for Portugal, an average of a goal contribution in every game he played in the Nations League. 2 big goals in the knockout stages, captain clutch. With all of this though, we've got a concrete answer. Is Ronaldo holding this team back? No. No, because the question shouldn't even exist in the first place. This team, the one under Roberto Martinez, it's safe to say for the first time in years, this team isn't about Ronaldo, it's about Portugal. Think about it. The coaches before Roberto Martinez, Carlos Queiroz, Paul Bento, and Fernando Santos, while none of them might want to admit it, they built teams structured around Cristiano Ronaldo. What Roberto Martinez has built is a team that can function with or without Ronaldo. When he plays, it's clear to see they've got a system. Work the ball into the box and get Ronaldo on the end of chances. In turn, he has the muscle memory of knowing where the goal is, and despite his age, built for goals like the ones he scored against Germany and Spain. They weren't spectacular. One was a tap-in, and the other was an instinctive reaction to stick the ball into the net. But on both occasions, they were goals. When Ronaldo does come off, when he doesn't play that is, Portugal has got players who are more than capable of stepping up to the occasion. In the final against Spain, for example, when Rafael Leao came on, in full flight down the left he was a beast, a gentle reminder of why he used to be one of the world's best a few seasons back. Players like Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, and Bernardo Silva. These are players who can perform as a team irrespective of whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo plays. So now we know if Ronaldo is holding this team back or gotten rid of the question, is Portugal better off without him? Honestly, this isn't as straightforward as you'd think. If this was after the 2022 World Cup or last summer's Euros, it would have been easy to say yes. It would have been easy to say Portugal didn't need Ronaldo and he didn't need to be called to the national team any longer. For context, in both competitions, he had 11 shots at the 2022 World Cup and 19 at the Euros. He only scored once from 30 across 2 competitions. Don't need to be a math genius to know that's not very impressive. Could have made the argument that Ronaldo playing with Portugal didn't allow for players like Gonçalo Ramos or Diogo Jota, who are options in that central attacking position, to get into the team. It's facts. Having Ronaldo in the squad and not playing him is a headline that could outweigh any unnecessary attention. However, judging by the Nations League finals that just concluded,
Ronaldo, everybody bought in to help him wherever they can, because once the moment comes and he has to put the ball in the back of the net, he's there. He's there.
He's there. He's always there. What Ronaldo did with the Nations League was put out a message that even at 40 years old, he still can have a say in big games. He can still win with the national team and produce big moments as well. 8 goals in the Nations League and Portugal's top scorer, yes. But on a broader context, the only player with more goals in the Nations League finals than him was Victor Gyökeres with 9, meaning Ronaldo, a 40-year-old veteran, was outscoring the likes of Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and Harry Kane. You simply cannot dismiss that. So what's the solution then? Is Portugal better off without him? Well, no. Ronaldo's experience, what it is to this Portuguese team, and what he has won is simply too much to just let go because of the modern game. It's very clear now that if this team wants to win, they need all the experience they can get. And what's better than the most capped player for the national team and the man who's captained Portugal to 3 major trophies? At the same time, we cannot deny the fact that Ronaldo starting big games for Portugal does put the team at risk. As mentioned against Spain, he had 3 turnovers that led to shot-taking action. Off the ball, he was below average in both semi-finals, but took his chances when the moment came. So, at best, Ronaldo deserves to be a part of the team. But that a 41-year-old could be starting as an attacker in big games for Portugal seems like it could be too much for Ronaldo. Roberto Martinez seems like the man to understand that Ronaldo should be a part of the team, but also knows he won't be able to play every game, especially the ones that demand high-intensity running and pressing. On the subject of the 2026 World Cup, it's clear that's the mission for Ronaldo and Portugal now.
Muita alegria. Em primeiro lugar, por este que eu disse hoje, esta geração merecia título desta magnitude, também pelas nossas famílias. Os meus filhos vieram cá, a minha mulher, o meu irmão, os meus amigos. E ganhar por Portugal é sempre especial. Eu tenho muitos títulos.
You hear him speak here and get the feeling this is a guy who would give anything for Portugal. He was in tears after seeing the team win the Nations League. In the celebrations, he looked like a man proud of what he'd achieved, but a man who also knew there was still one thing left, and that was attempting the near impossible and winning the World Cup with Portugal. This surely has to be the final chapter for Ronaldo, and he knows it. From an individual or team skill level, the players on that Portugal team should at least be making the last 4, the semi-finals that is. But winning the World Cup is more than just the names on the team. It's a combination of talented players and luck. Messi won the World Cup with Argentina off the back of having a team that played to his strengths. The team carried each other. This Portugal team is beginning to show similar signs to that. They can win games with or without Ronaldo. They play much better as a team. They've got a crop of players who idolise Ronaldo and want to win for him. Players like João Neves weren't even born when Ronaldo made his debut with the national team. That's the emotional factor Ronaldo brings to Portugal. The fact that he's not just a captain on the field, but a leader, a symbol, a source of inspiration. At 40, he's refusing to quit and has shown the world that sometimes age might just be a number, but it'll take more than just emotions to get the job done in 2026. With Ronaldo in the team, there is no doubt Portugal stands a better chance of winning games, having the greatest active goalscorer in football history. But in that he gets to start and play active roles in each match as he was over a decade ago seems like a very crazy idea. It still sends chills down the spine, remembering what Ronaldo used to be years back, particularly in 2009 when he and Lionel Messi headlined the biggest final at the end of a decade with the beginning of what would later become the GOAT debate.